if I could take that Claude model or series of models, we'll call it an app, and
Yep.
I could put it on a thumb drive and put it into a bank computer, or even just your desktop.
Hmm.
I could steal a lot of your information because it would figure out how to log into your bank and all sorts of stuff, right? This seems very, very, very dangerous. Welcome to Practical AI, everybody. My name's Jeff. I'm here with Peter Lynn. This is our second season of Practical AI, and we are sponsored by Pocket AI. Pocket AI is a tool you can use to edit the weights of your model. With Pocket AI, you can prune over 60% of the weights of your models while increasing accuracy. Peter, there was a article and a video, YouTube about Claude, and
Yeah.
it got pretty scary pretty quick. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what what was going on in this sort of sci-fi AI super reality?
Yeah. So Claude released, or Anthropic released a new version of Claude, and in it, it can now control your computer. And several YouTubers immediately jumped on it and did videos where basically you download a virtual PC, you run it, and it'll take control of that virtual PC and actually click and do things.
So what, first of all, what was it actually doing? And then we'll talk into basically how it is able to do that, just from an AI perspective. But what was it able to do? You said click on things like,
Yeah. So just to take a step back, the way it works is you start this virtual PC, and on one side is a prompt. Actually, so if you're looking at us, it's on one side, on the left side is a prompt, and on the right side is a virtual desktop that looks like basically Windows. And you can prompt it like open up a browser and go to this website. It'll actually find the icon for Firefox or Chrome or Edge. It'll click it, launch the browser, and then it'll type in the URL in the actual bar, and then it'll load the page.
and is it basically intercepting the digital keystrokes and like creating creating like I'm typing on my desktop here, my laptop. Is it literally typing stuff in, or is it just intercepting stuff, or how's it doing that?
I don't know exactly, but if it's what I think it is basically Windows has what's called a remote desktop. And so what they're doing is they start the virtual PC, virtual Windows, and it's just looking at the screen. And it's doing object recognition on the icons on the screen, and then it's sending commands as if so for example, if you have a problem with your PC, you can call up Microsoft and say, hey, my Windows is acting weird, and the support person will say, can I take control of your PC?
Mhm.
Right? If you say yes, they'll say, all right, they'll send a request. You click yes, and then someone at Microsoft support facility can actually move the mouse and type stuff. And so they're using that same API, basically.
Okay. And so um, it's using a lot of different features here. It's using some computer vision or, you know,
Yeah.
video. It's using probably LLMs
Language.
for prompts and stuff like that. But is it kind of exploratory? Is it constantly failing until it gets to the right thing, or does it know what the icon is for, you know, open this up? Does it know what it is, or is it trying every possible permutation until it gets it?
So from what I can see from the videos, in the chat window, you give it a prompt, like so say open up CNN.com or open up Apple.com. So you give it the prompt, right? So it looks at the screen and goes, oh, okay, is there an icon for a browser? If there isn't, it'll click in the Microsoft search window and it'll type in like Chrome or Firefox or Edge. Then it'll click on that icon and it'll start it. And so what it's doing is it's doing combination of computer vision, and it's doing a combination of chat language model stuff, LLM, and then it's also doing kind of video analysis. And then it's also probably got models for taking what you've told in the prompt and converting that to an action. So there's probably some kind of a language action model in there somewhere so that it can take your prompt, the response, and then make that into an action that it can then execute using the necessary APIs to actually manipulate the mouse and the keyboard and so on.
Okay, so I want to come back to this, but I want to, it's bugging me that when I was in college, one of my smart roommates who ended up being like a Unix Perl programmer or something somewhere in the Northwest, he had a real problem with the original Terminator.
Mhm.
And the thing that bothered him was that when they went to the viewing the world from the robot's perspective, from
Right.
Schwarzenegger's robot,
First
it
one,
was
yep.
this kind of, night vision screen with like data images, and it looked basically like you were looking through a periscope of a submarine or something like that.
Right.
And his problem was that a computer wouldn't need to see things the way a human does. And so bringing this back to the ranch, why do we have to use like why can't the prompting thing just skip the whole computer vision thing and
Mhm.
and just go straight to, oh, you want me to open up the app? I'll just open up the app.
Great question. So the short answer to that is not every program has a programming interface you can use to easily do something. So for example, even if you could say run edge.exe to start the browser, so that part's fine. But when you go to a website, there's no API to do things because the website is built for a human being that uses a mouse and a keyboard.
Oh, so it's all GUI at this point. It's a user
Right.
interface. Yeah, yeah.
Right. So and it's not like even websites that have an API like a REST API, they might not do everything you want to do.
Hmm.
So again, it comes back to if you want a general purpose system that can act on your behalf like a secretary, it needs to be able to perceive the world the way you and I humans perceive the world and do things as a human would. And so that's
Okay.
why.
All right. So back to our story. This is a huge problem, right? Because if I could take that Claude model or series of models, we'll call it an app,
Yeah.
and I could put it on a thumb drive and put it into a bank computer, or even just your desktop.
Mhm.
I could steal a lot of your information because it would figure out how to log into your bank and all sorts of stuff, right? This seems very, very dangerous.
It does. But luckily right now the models are still so big that you can't really run them on a regular laptop or a PC. Like it's still going up to the cloud to Anthropic's data center, and it's doing all the processing up on the cloud and sending stuff back. And so the caveat is you can try this thing out, but you have to buy tokens with Anthropic to try it out. Because if you don't have tokens, it won't run.
And if I understood from the video, they recommend running it in sort of a safe environment.
Yeah, in a virtual machine. Yeah.
Okay. So basically you partition off something and you just say,
Yeah.
here's my sandbox where my
Yeah.
fake bank account thing is. See if you can hack into it.
Right. The demos, people did simple demos. So no one actually, put in real stuff, but you do have to give it a real account. You have to log into your actual Anthropic account so that it can use your account to send your prompts up to the cloud and send it back and do all that stuff. And so what it does is you give it a prompt, it tries, if it fails, it tries again. So it's using train of thought, tree of thought, it's doing prompt engineering, fairly advanced prompt engineering to do all these things to make it look like it's behaving like a secretary, like a real human being.
I'm guessing Anthropic's using that data for training as well. for people that
Oh
are
yeah, they have to be. Yeah.
smart. Okay, so last question, where is this going? Like, what's this mean? What's the impact of this?
Well, it's only going to accelerate. So that's the first thing. I mean, you can bet that Microsoft will come out something. You can bet that OpenAI is working on it. Anyone that isn't working on it will probably jump on it immediately. And if they don't, they won't be relevant.
Okay. And do I have to worry about when do I have to worry about protecting my digital assets from this sort of worm that can get into my system?
So I would not be the first adopter for this tech. And even if I were to use it, I would use it for something very specific and innocuous. Like, hey, can you update my calendar with this appointment? That's it. That's all I would not hook it up to my bank account. I would
Yeah.
not hook it to anything involving money or my health insurance. Anything that has money involved, I would not hook it up.
Well done. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on this. We'll put there's a good video on this, which, you know, is got a certain level of shock value to it. We'll put that in the discussion box. Peter, thanks for giving us a little insight on this. And you can always like, subscribe, and ask us questions. And we'll be here next week with another video. Take care.